Okay, here's the Super Nintendo transformer. This one, plugged it in, nothing happens, Nintendo doesn't come on. Tested for voltage in the plug here with the multimeter, and I get about 2, maybe 2.4 volts at most. Same thing at the tip here where the cord solders to the board. So the next step is to open this up, plug it in, and test the transformer itself just to see if we have any voltage coming through the transformer or if the transformer itself is dead and this is a fruitless effort. So just a note on the fasteners here, Nintendo in the early 90s and in the late 80s loved to use safety fasteners. So to get these screws out of the transformer, you have to use a spanner bit. It's a 10 millimeter. And then basically once they're out, just the 2 screws kind of hold this thing together. You do want to be careful not to drop this just because inside there's the electromagnet that's pretty heavy. So it could do damage to, if you got stuff on your desk or your workbench or something, or if you drop it on your foot. You don't want to have permanent damage here, but yeah, basically we get those screws out, and you can lift the whole thing right out. You see there's a little control board there, a couple of resistors, and a capacitor on this particular model, and there's your transformer. So these are the leads you want to test to make sure your transformer works. Now you have to do this with it plugged in, so you want to make sure you're really cautious about this. I'm going to use a power strip to hold it level so it doesn't move, so I'm not tempted to touch it, because you don't want to touch these internals with high voltage running through there. And then you use your AC just to see on your multimeter, just to see if you've got, you should have 10 plus volts coming out here. And you can also test your voltage with it not plugged in at the wires here, but again, I hit these and I'm getting 2.4 volts. I did test the board itself for continuity, and I get plenty of continuity on the board, so I don't think there's anything corroded or touching on the board that would interrupt that signal. But the question is really, is it a problem with the transformer itself, or is there an open somewhere in the cord that I need to strip the cord back and basically resolder the connections to the board here. Capacitor looks pretty good. I see no bulges. I took this all the way out and everything looked good on it. But that is something that could fail. If you see any bulging or any leakage, you want to get those out of there and swap them. But luckily this one's good. No real cleaning work here to do. Everything should be a-okay. Okay, so we've got the multimeter out here, and we're going to just do the voltage test just so you guys can see it. You'll have to bear with me a bit because I don't really have a tripod or anything to do this with, so forgive the shaky cam here. So I kind of use this little plastic gem to hold my positive, and then we touch that, and you'll see the voltage on the multimeter there. 1.7, 1.8, so no dice, should be 10 or more for what this is rated for. So we know that we got an issue here either with cable or transformer. I did already test the board. I'm not going to show that because it's just kind of wonky to try and do. So I will show the test with it plugged in, and the safe test first, and then the little more risky test after. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and plug in a power strip here, and then we are going to show you guys sort of the safe way to test this. I'm going to turn the power strip on. Now this isn't secure there, it's not screwed in or anything. And then I've got a plug-in end right here. So we just take our positive and our negative, and again I'm getting less than 2 volts on the multimeter, so we know that we've got an issue there with voltage. So we'll take the top off here and try and do this safely. So we'll test. Nothing there. Nothing there. So I'm not an expert, of course, with electronics, but I'm reading nothing. So just straight zeros any way I contact this. So we got no power there at all. So we know we have a dead transformer. So in this case, doing any kind of solder work or trying to work on this is a moot point. There is no power coming through the transformer, so we have an officially dead Super Nintendo plug. So no saving this one.